Okay, good morning, class. I just wanted to do a short recording of talking about the assignment for this week. So as usual, we do have some study questions that I point out during the PowerPoint. I'll kind of direct you in certain ways to answer those correctly. But our big task this week is to write our first resistance training program. Okay, so on the next couple slides here, I'm going to show you the templates that I'm going to provide for you to use and then explain to you how to use the templates. Okay, now what we're going to do is write this program for the same individual, Jasmine, that we did the needs analysis for. So you might need to go back and read that case study again, okay? And then I've added a couple more items here that you're going to need to consider, okay? So just as a reminder, Jasmine, she's an incoming freshman volleyball player on the collegiate level. She is a novice, which in this case means she does not have formal strength and conditioning experience or resistance training experience. Now, she does play volleyball. She's not a novice at volleyball, but that's not our concern. The strength and conditioning coach is designing the strength and conditioning program, not her volleyball program. Okay, so for our purposes, she's a novice, and that's going to inform some of the decisions that we make choosing exercises for her, etc. Okay. So I provide a tool for you to use. There is an exercise bank, which is a large spreadsheet that I put together that has all of the different movement patterns listed on the left side, and then the basic exercises in the next column that fit each movement pattern. And then I have a sequence of progressions, starting with the easiest version of the exercise, progressing to the most difficult. Okay, now since Jasmine is a novice, we're going to choose easier exercises for her. Not because she's not fit, but because she may not know how to do exercises that involve complicated technique, etc. When somebody's a novice, you always choose the most basic exercise possible and you progress it and make it more difficult as their experience level grows, okay? Secondly, she is in the off season, so the priority of her training is going to be hypertrophy and muscular endurance, okay? So there is a chart in the PowerPoint that tells you the rep range and the set numbers you will use for somebody in the hypertrophy muscular endurance phase, okay? I'm just going to scroll back real quick and show you where that is. Let's see. So here's our repetitions. She's in hypertrophy, so we're going to go in a 6 to 12 rep range. Sorry, wrong way. And then her sets are going to be 3 to 6. So as long as you pick a number in those two ranges, you'll be good to go, okay? Now her rest period, you'll also have to write in the template. For hypertrophy, the rest period is 30 seconds to 90 seconds, okay? So use those two charts to set your set number, rep number, rest period, duration. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a program that is a 2-day-a-week program. And the way the program is set up is it's a 6-week protocol, but you really just have to worry about prescribing the exercises, the sets, the reps, and the rest period. Okay, so here is what the template looks like. It's a 2-day, so there should be 2 Excel spreadsheets. This is day 1 or strength A. And then over here, I don't have B on this slide, but you get the idea. There should be 2 forms like this, okay? Now they look very similar, as I'll show you on the next slide. So what I've done is I've kind of trimmed them down. So notice here we have strength A, and over here, we have strength B, okay? Now these look very similar to each other, but they're not. They have different movement patterns listed. So for instance, strength A, exercise 2A, is bilateral hip dominant. Over here, it's bilateral knee dominant. Here, it's vertical pull. Here, it's vertical push. So make sure that you don't make the mistake of thinking you just need to do one form. On the form you're going to download, there's 2 spreadsheets. So make sure you do both of them and realize that they are different. Okay, now, how do you work this thing? What are you going to do here? It looks complicated, but it's very simple. What I have listed on the blank template are the different movement patterns and types of exercises that you will have to select an exercise for, okay? For example, bilateral hip dominant. All I would do is I would select an exercise that fits that movement pattern, and an example of that is the deadlift. So I would just type in deadlift in the box underneath bilateral hip dominant, right? So this sheet here is a filled in one that I created just to give you an example of what it'll look like. Vertical pull, an example of a vertical pull exercise would be a weighted chin up. Corrective exercises. Now, we haven't really talked a lot about those, and those are actually not found on the spreadsheet that I keep accidentally scrolling to, and I'll talk about that in a second. I want you to think about for those like stretches or anything that an athlete of this type might need to avoid injury, okay? Moving on down, and that actually, notice that their corrective exercises are listed here multiple times. And you can, honestly, you can use the same couple and just kind of repeat them over and over again if you want to, because the corrective exercises show up on the Strength B day as well. Now going on down, then for horizontal push, I chose the dumbbell bench press. For unilateral knee dominant, step up, anti-rotation is the pull-off press, okay? Now before we move on, over on this Strength B, I did the exact same thing. But again, the movement patterns are different, okay? Then the other thing that's different between the blank template and the filled in is I have put in the set number that we're planning to do here in this column, the rep number here in the middle column, and the rest period here in the third column, okay? Now again, you're gonna get those numbers from those two charts that I showed you a second ago that are found in the PowerPoint, okay? Based on identifying that Jasmine is in a hypertrophy muscular endurance phase, we're gonna choose a rep range and a rest period length and a set number that would fit into being in that hypertrophy phase, okay? So I wrote in, I think it was 3 to 6 was the sets, and that's essentially, I just selected a number that fit in that range here. Part of the logic of what I did is the big money phase, so to speak, is the second block here, or the big money block. We have 3 blocks: 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. The second block is where like the heaviest work is going to be done. So you want to typically do more sets in the main block. Where your third block is more your accessory exercises, which are less important. So I always do less sets in my third block than I do in my second block, okay? Now the rep number, again, the range that we saw for hypertrophy was 6 to 12. So I fall into that category here. Now, this first exercise is a power exercise, which typically means you're going to be doing much fewer reps, okay? And you're going to do that with a longer rest period. So that's why I have these numbers here for this particular exercise. The rest of them, though, they fall into the category, okay? Now, what I've done with the rest periods here is I'm really only worried about the rest period for the first exercise. So I'm going to move from exercise A to B to C kind of as quickly as I can, because they're non-competing exercises. And by the time I get back to my deadlift to do it again, 3 minutes has passed. These are all set up like circuits. You're not going to do 4 sets of the deadlift in a row. You're going to do 1 set of the deadlift, 1 set of the chin up, 1 set of the T-spine mobilization, then go back and do your second set of deadlift, second set of chin up, second set of the T-spine. Doing it like that allows you to accomplish more work in less time, which is always good in a strength and conditioning facility and with fitness clients as well, okay? So what I did is I just put my rest period length here, and then I put 0 for these others, indicating that the rest period really applies to my first exercise. And I did the same thing in my third block as well. 90 seconds, 0 and 0, okay? I stuck within the rep range of 6 to 12. Now some of these, like the step up, is you have to do right and left sides both, so it's going to take longer to do that set. So I do a few less reps just to allow for the time to kind of work out the right way, okay? And anytime I'm doing something on right and left sides, that's what the E right here, 8 each, 10 each. Over here, 6 each, 8 each, okay? Now for this one, for the reps, I put in at 45 seconds because it's a plank. You're just gonna hold that position for time. So rather than putting a rep number, I put in 45 seconds. The little s is gonna stand for seconds. And up here, the little m is gonna stand for minutes. Okay, last thing then, here is the exercise bank. Now this is available for you on Schoology. So like I said, the movement patterns are listed here on the left column, the first column. So all you have to do is look at your template, figure out what movement pattern you're picking for, go to this sheet, find bilateral hip dominant, and then you have 4 basic exercises that fit into that category. You can pick any of them. Then whatever one you pick, let's say you pick squat. What I've done then is I give you a progression. So the most basic and easiest version of a squat is to sit down and stand back up. Jasmine is past that, okay? Honestly, we could probably move Jasmine, because she is a young athlete, all the way to the goblet squat. I would not feel comfortable doing a barbell back squat with her yet, because she has not squatted before formally, okay? Goblet squats are a really good way to teach good squat technique, so that would be a great choice for her, okay? And then really, this is all laid out for you. I did say she's a novice, so you might err on picking the easier versions. The progression sequence moves from easiest to hardest all the way down, okay? So try to pick whatever. Now I know you all may not know what some of these are, and that's okay. Part of this is just gaining some experience. And this sheet is just my take on things. You might talk to another strength and conditioning coach who has a different progression sequence, and that's okay. There's very rarely a right or wrong answer with stuff like this. There's many answers that could be correct, okay? So let me just quickly show you where this stuff is found on Schoology. This submission for this assignment is going to be a little bit different. Let me open up my web browser. So in the week 11 folder, you are going to see, first of all, the exercise bank is at the bottom. That's that big spreadsheet that I showed you with all of the exercises. The templates are found here. So click on that. And what you'll have to do is to download this and save it on your computer. You cannot edit this document inside the Schoology window. You're going to have to download it, save it, okay? Reopen it, and then you can type stuff into it. Okay, so then once you get it typed in, your exercises, your sets, your reps, and your rest, save that again on your computer, okay? And then you'll go back to this folder, and the submission link for the assignment is this tab. So you'll click on that, and you will be able to hopefully attach the spreadsheet right here. Okay, if you have issues doing that, just let me know and I can look into it. But just to reiterate that, in order to edit the spreadsheet, you're going to have to download it, save it, then edit it, then save what you edited, and then re-upload it back to this different tab, right? You download the spreadsheet here, you're going to submit it here, okay? So that's it. This can be an intimidating assignment, but that's okay, right? This is you learning maybe for the first time to write a strength training program. And as my opinion, as a graduate from an exercise science program, you should have some basic skills at writing an exercise program, a resistance training program specifically. And if this is your first time doing this, congratulations, you're going to learn something this time. And don't be scared to mess up, because I'll give you some correction and help you correct it if needed. Okay, so have a great week. Talk to y'all next time.